Set her up for a little bit before we started rolling the cameras, and we're just talking about some of the instruments that I have on the wall, and some that I got from my grandfather, and you know, some that you know, are a little shinier than others. And my daughter, actually, these two other guitars belong to her that she got from her grandfather. They just shined those up, and they have a whole. Those two guitars have a history in Billings here.
Yes.
They were bought at a local music store in the late '50s, early '60s. They played here. They've lived and breathed here and made people smile. So I think it's nicer to have them out and being played and being fondled and touched and grabbed and molested, as opposed to sitting in a closet someplace.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, and I'm sure her grandfather would agree. So,
we're bad about that.
Her grandmother might not agree that they should be on this wall particularly, but which is why they haven't been for 30 years. But
we're pretty bad about that. We'll go to local pawn shops.
Yeah, you guys were talking. You just picked up. We were talking about the banjo in the corner I got from my grandfather. You just picked one.
Yeah,
up.
we got a
beautiful
1930s,
machine.
1940s tenor banjo.
I'm kind of I'm kind of a freak too when it comes to the stuff. I don't know as much about vintage instruments as I should. You know, obviously the big name brands, the Gibson stuff, and those kind of guitars and stuff, I really gravitate towards. But
well, the closest thing we could figure out with this guy, and if anybody out there has any help, it's 1930s, 1940s Slingerland tenor banjo. It's stamped with the name Cody on the inside there. If you take the resonator off on the truss rod, it's stamped with the name Cody with a K. Closest thing I could find was on eBay, and it was like $2,700, and I stole this thing from a pawn shop for $210.
Don't tell the pawn shop, we're not sharing. No. That is very cool.
I love it. I've got just a little transducer pickup in there right now. I need to do a real electromagnetic setup because you get a lot of tap out of it.
We actually have custom built cigar box instruments from a gentleman in South Carolina. He owns Buddha's box guitars. Alan had found him online and bought it's a cigar box guitar. It's not actually a cigar box, it's modeled after one, and he's actually got our shop in. Well, it's technically our shop logo is his logo, but it's his initials that make a double anarchy. So that's the sound.
What was that documentary that Jack White did with a couple of Jimmy Page? It was about guitar players, and that's what he was. He was like, you don't need a fancy guitar. You can take, and he was literally sat there and he made a pickup and he made a guitar in like 5 minutes. He put a couple of strings on it, and he's like, there you go.
You're seeing people make stand-up basses out of 2x4s now.
And you play.
And they're amazing.
You know, everybody said, "Well, I don't have the, that guitar's not good. I can't play." You just play.
Yeah, this gentleman, he's amazing at what he does, though. But Alan got a hold of him, and he made him this awesome guitar, and he only charged him $300, and he even shipped it to him. Like, that's not a bad price for a custom-made instrument for yourself.
Absolutely.
And then we had sent him videos and pictures and tagged him and stuff of Alan playing it, and so then he eventually made me a cigar box there's a resonator mandolin. And actually just made it for free because he found out we were doing the whole Kentucky thing and playing there, so helped get his name out there. And we love them. They're definitely our most unique instruments.
Some musicians might be jealous a little bit because of the style of music you play, because it allows you the freedom to do that. It allows you the freedom to try different things and incorporate different things. And we were talking earlier about incorporating different people and things coming and going. Most bands can't get away with that. Most genres can't get away with that. You can't just bring a sitar into a thrash metal band and just expect it to go over real well, for a song or two. So I think a lot of musicians might be envious of the fact that you get that freedom a little bit. Maybe I know. Personally,
we like it a lot.
I know a Jawhawk player that would love to play with you. If you want. I mean, throw that in there somewhere.
You never know.
He plays with us.
So yeah, I think that's a very cool aspect of the genre of music that you guys
We get a lot of interesting people to sit with us. Just recently, you and Ben, that was awesome.
Yeah.
We there's links to that song. Me and this gentleman. His name is Benjamin, but I don't know his last name because his band name is Be Me, and he does R&B type.
Soul music in town.
Soul music. He doesn't want to be called an R&B guy because this guy can do anything.
Yeah,
he just improv'd a country song called "On the Side of the Road" at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't remember it until the next day, and I heard the song, and I was like, yes, I was that drunk.
Yeah, we actually we have a recording of that. Thank God the sound guy, recording guy, happened to be there, so he was like, "Hey, I can record you guys." But it's totally improv. It was like Ben he's phenomenal. That gentleman can just sit in with anybody and make you believe that he's been doing it forever.
Yeah.
The funny part and the awesome part about it though is when you hear the song, nobody would guess that he's black, and he straight sings
I forgot
like a
about
country.
that. Yeah, he's black.
Like,
I forgot.
you just would
Like I
never
said, I
know.
grew up
So it's
almost in
awesome.
Watts, California. Most of my friends are black.
But we've played it for a few people. It's gonna be the hidden track on our EP. And we've played it for a few people, and everybody thinks it's our cajon player, Ben, when we tell them, oh, our buddy Ben recorded this. And then we have to tell them, no, it's not that Ben. And they're like, well, who is it? And then we tell them, and they're like, but he's black. And we're like, so?
She's
that
got a video
don't
of
mean
it,
anything.
too.
It's
To
awesome.
prove it.
Yeah.
Nice.
But he's really good about just
It
coming
also
on the
proves
spot
how
singing
drunk I
everything.
was.
Only the names have been changed to predict guilty endings.
There you go.
Let's talk a little bit about the shop downtown. Are you're close to the old Wendy's downtown?
Yep.
All right, I guess
Right
there's
next
still
to it.
Wendy's downtown, isn't
No,
No, it's
Wendy's
not.
closed down.
Did they really?
Yeah, it's gone. It's
They
sad.
sold the franchise here in town to someone that didn't want the downtown location, apparently.
Okay.
It's kind of a weird location.
It was weird how they
Weird
ran it.
place.
They were only open from
Yeah.
like
Yeah, they were
Weird building.
10
lunchtime.
till 4 or
11
something.
to
thing,
4 or
yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
I don't know. Downtown, they try to improve, and I think they've done a great job as far as the art projects that they've undertaken down.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the, I think if you just got rid of the one-way streets,
Yeah.
it made it not confusing
just
for
put
people that people would go
Yeah.
there.
On Broadway and 2nd Avenue North, they just put a piano for people
Oh
to
yeah,
play.
we were talking about that.
That is the coolest thing why didn't I think of that?
They also said that they put a graffiti wall. There's like a wall where
An alley,
people can
where
go like
graffiti artists can go.
Well, there's several,
Oh,
but
there's a
I
lot
thought
downtown.
I thought there's several alleys where there's big graffiti.
And there's like a
tag
designated
pieces.
one, like
Yeah.
it's for like it's downtown does it. And
I know the
everything.
men's
that's
room
really
at
cool.
Aesthetic Agony Tattoo is cool for train rider tags, but keep it off the tile and doors, Dad.
Yeah, you walk into the men's bathroom at the shop and you're just like, whoa, people have had a lot of fun with it. And it's not just train rappers. We had a hip hop show there on New Year's Eve. Magic City Music Group played there and a couple other local groups. Yeah, they went nuts in that bathroom. And they were about one of the first ones, other than the first one was a train operator. After that, those hip hop kids took over that bathroom for a minute. But we get a lot of different genres at the shop. Yeah, it's right downtown on 2nd Avenue. We have a giant stage. He's our lead artist. He's been tattooing for 19 years, coming up this November professionally.
Yeah, I'm old.
And it's still in the old live wire location?
Yeah,
Same
still the
location.
old live wire, just different name, completely different shop. There's not a bunch of flash on the walls. We're trying to keep it very custom and
I spit
We will
down to it.
draw
I like
anything
your
you want.
music.
Yeah.
As
And-
many times as you want.
yeah, and it is different for people to try to get them to understand that we're a live venue now too. So by
Yeah.
7 o'clock, the bar's in there. Tiny's Tavern is awesome. We love those guys. We've been working with them for about 4 years now.
Well, except for the Bronco fan thing, but
Yeah.
I'll overlook that. for now.
There you go.
I love Curtis. Curtis and Danny Saverners helped us out. He jumped on board when we started booking shows back when it was Livewire, and Livewire had a really kind of a sketchy reputation back then. And for him, him being such an upstanding member of society around here in the community.
And he's
him to
always
jump
given people a venue
Yeah.
to express themselves. It's
For-
always been,
for
at
him
least
to
on the
jump on
patio,
board
he's always
with
had
us.
people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He jumped on board with us and didn't charge me a thing. And just because he knew that I was going to, he caught wind of the turnouts that we get most of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, now that the music scene is picking up, it's really hard because venues are competing.
Well, yeah, well,
against
that and
each
yeah,
other.
you're tearing the
Yeah.
supporters,
Yeah.
in different directions sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All the venues are competing right now. I mean, and that's awesome. I love the competition and everything, but it's it would be nice if we could kind of work with each other.
Yeah.
And be like.
I always ask her. We will have one show that will be in support of with the radio station, and then the other guy will book another show a couple weeks later. I'm like, why did he book that show on the same night? Why would he do that? But then one's a little bit later than the other one, so maybe he's trying to catch a little bit of that crowd.
That's why
while
we
they're waiting
end
for the
ours
old
at
show,
10,
but-
so that way, if people want, they can go off
And I know it's
and
at
go
6
to
o'clock
other
normally
places.
they start,
Yep.
6 in the evening,
Yep.
and
And then
so
we're
it's,
always done by 10 because.
People have families, people have
Yeah,
obligations, they have
mainly-
kids, they gotta
mainly
get
we have
soccer
families
practice, and
and- And in that building, there is other apartments that are kind of behind us, and I don't want to be the guy running amplified music at 2 o'clock in the morning for these.
We're having
people
issues
that-
I
with
do.
that at the rail yard.
I do.
Yeah, I've heard.
My neighbor
yeah.
back here, but
That's why
she
we
plays her
endorse
music
her.
rather loud as well, and this whole back wall kind of becomes a big subwoofer.
Oh, there
So
you
I
go.
just compete now. and I win most of the
At
time.
least yours is live
Yeah.
music.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you can call it music, but I make a lot of noise as a live person.
I love a lot of noise.
But yeah,
Especially with these, I've been trying to figure out, this one you gotta stand exactly 90 degrees to the Marshall, otherwise that thing's just, wow, you know, why do you stand 90 degrees?
Drooling over that.
I mean, the pickups there, I couldn't even get the screwdriver off of it.
How does it sound acoustically? Is it pretty loud?
It's wonderful. That one actually has a few more tone options with that triple tone
Oh, yeah.
polarity switch, that this one doesn't have, but, I mean,
That's awesome.
1957, somebody actually made that guitar.
I know,
With a
yeah.
handful of tools,
Yeah.
and it took them weeks, if not months, to bend that wood and exactly how they were supposed to.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a machine involved in
No,
that thing, other
that's
than the
awesome.
machines that they were using.
That's
And, you know,
awesome.
some of these other guitars, there's a couple other new ones that are like that too, but there's just, I mean, that Gretsch is like, literally like you're in a 57 coupe driving down Sunset Boulevard.
Oh, yeah.
What you feel like when you play that, it's incredible.
I know a lot of artists that would
Yeah.
just be drooling, other than
So-
us.
So yeah, it's I don't know, it's a love affair. You know,
Mhm.
that's why I do it. That's why I don't want to work for a living. So I
Don't
listen to
blame you.
music.
Well, that's
But,
what we
yeah.
love at the nighttime at the shop, because, yeah, we have the bar come down. I mean, if we have all ages shows, we don't have the bar, and then most of the time we do 18 and up, so that way, because 18, 19, 20-year-old kids still want to go listen to music and have
Not
something
give them
to do,
somewhere they
too.
ain't gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
We've been booking shows at what was Livewire and is now Aesthetic Agony Tattoo and Production for 5 years straight, and have never once had the police called. Never once. It's always a good time.
We don't get
Everybody has a great
fights.
time. It's a creepy building, so I mean, it's
A couple of
it
ghosts
scares
hanging out
people,
there.
yeah.
Every once in
Get a
a while.
little ghost adventure
There's
going on every now and
tunnels
then.
and-
We ain't gonna go
Yeah.
elaborate on the ghost adventures, but
Yeah, there's energy that lives in those bricks, I expect.
Oh, yeah. It is a 108-year-old building, so
That's
it's
really
pretty
cool
old.
too, though. I mean, if
Yeah.
you think about it, those bricks were probably made to resonate a little down-home music anyway. So
Yeah. This
oh,
stage
it does.
also...
It has a great acoustics. I mean, once you
It does.
it was really weird because when you would play and sing on the floor in that same area, it didn't sound anything like when you elevated yourself 3.5 feet off the ground.
yeah. Well, this.